Hi guys, ArchieLuxury. Go to f2bbs.com, www.f2bbs.com, the last bastion of free speech on the interweb. Hey guys, it's ArchieLuxury on the Pluta channel. Today I'm doing paid review QA 21 QA 57. 21 QA 57. Here we go. What's the crake? Archie, how you doing? My name is Wolf, coming to you from Ireland. And he's used a small font, so I'll just use these glasses here. I think your watch reviews are great. Love them, especially when you don't hold back and tear us into some poor man's watch collection. Do you do reviews on poor man's watch collection? Do you have a soft spot for your poor listeners that don't have two coins to rub together? Listen to this. I am in need of a video review. As far as I see it, you're the internet watch guru, the boss, the man. I need you to have a gander at my watch collection and tell me what you think. I don't need you to hold back, Arch. You can say it what it is. If my collection is unworthy even for a mention, it's a grand shider. That's grand. A shider is a shider, and I think I may have a bad dose of shiders here. Now, before I start, I'll let you know I wasn't much a watchman, but my father was. I stumbled onto your YouTube channel when he died, cause you look like the split of him. I was hunting for a watch he wore for 17 years. Was it Tag Heuer W1112 Coke? I finally found it, and so started collecting the 4 watches he has in his life. Cause he didn't leave me a button, Archie, and I wanted something to remember him by. His first watch was a Seiko chronograph, a Seiko Pog chronograph Pepsi when he was a boy. His second Seiko SKX 009 Pepsi when he was a young man. His third was a Tag Heuer W1112 Coke, 17 years when he was a family man. His fourth, Rolex GMT Pepsi when he was old age. His fifth watch was actually his third again, because he blew all the money on boats and women in his old age. He died wearing his Seiko XKX 009 Pepsi again with a smile on his face. He was a fiker for Coke and Pepsi watches, Archie. Funny that it was diabetes that killed him. Anyway, nostalgia and missing him over the years has turned me onto a few watches. So, look at this nutcase collection. My old man would be proud. The lockdown here in Ireland, in fairness, hasn't helped. The 3 Casios were mine from childhood. Our family was poor, Arch. Those Casio watches were gifts to me as my first watch from some charitable friend who took pity. It was either this or a sundial. A lot of these watches were gifts. The Breitling Chronomat below was my 21st birthday present from my mother and her sisters. That was back in 2001. The new 2018 Tag Heuer Aqua Pepsi was a 40th present for my brothers. They could see I like Pepsis. The collection of Seiko Pepsis, I don't know, Arch, what possessed me to get them, but I did. Now I can't get rid of them. I think my dad would have liked better versions of the SKX 009, but couldn't afford them. I particularly like the Seiko Samurai. I was wearing the Seiko Turtle on my second son's birth, the Tuna, and the Urchin I never wore. The Storm watch was from my first girlfriend's 25 years ago, the Storm. She had no money. She was a really nice girl. I like to remember her and the fitness watches that are only here to keep my heart and steps in check. The most important watch is my dad's Tag Heuer W1112. I got a blue version as well because it was a cheap find and they look nice together. I'm after a Pepsi Pog, and when I get the shillings, I'm getting a Rolex Pepsi GMT, Rolex GMT2 Pepsi. Then I'm done. Do you review poor man's shitter boxes, or do you just fly with the high flyers? Keep well, Archie. All the best in the future. Sending you a bit of Irish Luca. So there we go. Bit of an interesting story. What do I think there? Well, look, you know, look. I think it's an interesting story. It's an interesting tale. The saddest thing about this collection is that, unfortunately, where's the Rolex? And I think you said your dad had spent it all. Yes. So he had a Rolex GMT2 Pepsi when he was in old age. But he blew his fifth and third, because he blew all his money on watches and women in his old age. Yes. That's a shame, but I gotta tell you, interesting little diversion here. Look, look, I gotta be honest with you, compared to the watches that I'm usually reviewing, yeah, they're not the most expensive. Do I see value in it? Of course I do. Of course I do. I mean, look, the thing I like about this here, I was going to rip into him and say these are garbage and blah, 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 but you know what? These represent his life. We can't all be Bentley or Ferrari owners. We've got to have somebody who drives a Vauxhall Vega. A Vauxhall, you know, Vauxhall Cavalier, you know. I got to tell you, man, it's just how it goes. And look, there's some interesting stuff there. The Seikos, you know, I got to be honest with you, the Seikos aren't. I like the Pepsi. You've got a very big Pepsi theme happening there. And what an interesting to have the whole collection displayed there. And yeah, I got to say the Tag Heuers, look, they aren't terrible watches. I mean, look, they're not the greatest. They're not the greatest, like they're not, you know, Rolex or Omega. But man, you're trying your best. And your watches, what's to say your story isn't worthy? So I got to be totally honest with you. I'm feeling a bit of sympathy for you. The poor man, he didn't have a lot of money. Watches are expensive. They're very expensive. It'd be really cool. This would be an amazing collection if you had the Pepsi. Your dad's Rolex Pepsi, but that would have been long gone. Long gone. I do like how you can show all the watches you had as a kid and your girlfriend got you this or that. That is a pretty cool story. You've even got the Breitling, your mum and her sisters got you. That's great. I mean, how can I criticize that and say, oh, it's rubbish? Well, it's an ETA-based Swiss watch. Yeah, it's not worth a lot of money, but I got to tell you, this is actually not a terrible collection. It's not a great collection. I'd be lying if I said it was horologically amazing, but it tells your story. I don't think there's many people, rich or poor, who could piece together their whole history with the watches. So I'd say, you know, I would really love you to get that Rolex Pepsi, because it would give the rest of it credibility. And I gotta say, man, it's interesting. It is very, very interesting. It's amazing to see all this stuff, and the watches tell a story. They don't always have to be Rolex or Patek or Omega or, you know, big brands. Here, this is a working man's collection. And I mean, hey, he's got a Breitling. Breitling is actually that would have cost a pretty penny in the day. That would have been expensive. The Tag Heuers there. You've got a Formula One. What happened to the Formula One there? That's actually, oh, it's an Aqua Racer. It's an Aqua. What do you say about the Aqua Racer there? Oh, the Aqua Racer was a 40th from my brother's. Oh, your brother's got you the Aqua. Man, that's a cool gift. That's a nice family. See, look, at the end of the day, it's not how many watches we have. It's the people around us, the family, our friends. I think you're quite, you know, look, I'd love you to have a Rolex there. If you had a Rolex, it would have been the glue that cemented this collection together. Unfortunately, your dad spent it on boats and women. Yes, both of those. I don't know which is worse, women or boats. What is a worse thing to spend it on? Yeah, but look, you tried. That's all that matters. You got to try in life. You tried, and yeah, I think get the Rolex and be done. 100%. What a great story. It's a very, very interesting sort of local history on it. Look, I didn't come from money myself. I've got to be totally honest with you there. Here are two of my watches from my childhood. This one here was my grandfather's watch he died with. It's a Sentinel, which is a quality watch because it's even got a stainless steel back. It's got a stainless steel back, which means the rest of it is probably chrome plated. So that was my grandfather's watch. Absolute garbage, really, but that was his watch. And my grandfather on the other side, this was a J. Farron Price watch. And, you know, it's just a little Swiss beater. It's funny how small watches were in the 50s and 60s. And so I've got both the grandparents' watches there. They're not worth a lot. They're kind of shiters, you know. They're just, to many people, they are junk. I get it. I get it. You know, a service would probably cost more than they are worth, but you know, they're just two little innocent manual wine beaters. Are they Swiss? Let's have a look. What are they? So let me have a look here. So the Sentinel, what the hell is it? Is it a Sentinel? Yeah, that's a Swiss. And the J. Farron Price is Swiss made. Yep, that's Swiss made as well. So there you go. They're both two Swiss movement watches. Nothing. Look, these are both my grandparents were working class. One was working at Morris Woolen Mills. He was on the textile. He was a machinist. The other side, he was doing. He worked for the Commonwealth Services. They did like airports, stuff like that, before it all got subcontracted out now. So he worked on Commonwealth roads. He drove a dozer, a truck. He did jack of all trades, you know. So these weren't rich people, and this is the sort of watches they had there. Just garbage. But, you know, they tried their best. That's what they did. And I, as their grandson, I wear Patek Philippe. So it's not where you start that counts, it's where you finish. So I gotta say, look, look, there's nothing, look, horologically speaking, nothing really great here. But it's the history, the family story. Normally I'd roast you, but, you know, I kind of like the story. I like the ex-girlfriend's watch. She was quite nice. There were good memories in that, you know. So I got to tell you, that's exactly what I think. I think that is a great little story there. What a cool way to go. And yeah, what's wrong with that, man? That is a cool story. So they're not great watches. They're kind of shitty. There's nothing. I think the two the four good pieces, the three tags and the Breitling, they're kind of, you know, semi-decent. The rest of the stuff there is not really my cup of tea, but hey man, it tells the family story. See, my side of the family, they had rubbish. They had rubbish. So look, you try your best. So I kind of like the way it does say a family story, because my family had garbage as well. I'm sort of the first one to go into the Lux as a hobby. So yeah, guys, that's the way I feel about it. I don't think it was a terrible. Look, it's interesting to see a bit of a watch story there. So yeah, it's well done indeed. Get the Rolex Pepsi. That'd bring all this junk together nicely. Okay, guys, that's the review for today. Guys, like, subscribe, and tell your friends. Don't be afraid to put some comments below. And remember, I can't survive on Google Ads. I need the paid reviews to keep me full-time on YouTube. Without the paid reviews, I can't survive. I really do need these paid reviews. Also, sponsor me on Patreon. Patreon allows you to pay $1 a month or more, whatever you want to do. And it just keeps me full-time because, let's be honest, without your support, I can't survive. See you in the next one. Hi guys, ArchieLuxury. And who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co. Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie, I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co. That is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the Pontiff goes. You know, some of my Pateks came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys. Vintage Watch Co.